Sangwa or Mudolo, Lungu family's next successor battle. The power struggle that could decide 2026. Behind closed doors, a fierce battle is unfolding within the opposition, one that could shape Zambia's political destiny in 2026. On one side, lawyer and outspoken critic John Sangwa, commanding influence through intellect and integrity. On the other, the rising strategist, Mudolo, quietly backed by loyalists tied to the late Edgar Lungu's inner circle. But here's the twist. Whispers suggest the Lungu family itself may be pushing for their own chosen one to rise again. So the question is, who really holds the key to Zambia's opposition future? Sangwa, Mudolo, or someone else entirely? Welcome to InspirAfrica Official, your home for in-depth, factual stories shaping Zambia's political journey. Tonight, we dig deep into a power struggle that's quietly dividing the Patriotic Front's legacy. After Edgar Lungu's fall from grace and the controversies surrounding his family, two powerful names have emerged, Sangwa and Mudolo. Who are they really? What's their connection to the Lungu family's lingering influence? And could this rivalry decide who becomes the new face of Zambia's opposition in 2026? Let's uncover the untold story. A secret rivalry is unfolding within Zambia's opposition, Sangwa versus Mudolo. As the Lungu family watches closely, the question of who will take over the PF legacy grows louder. Could this be the political showdown that decides 2026? In this investigative breakdown, we trace the roots of this emerging power struggle, its ties to the Lungu family, and how it could reshape Zambia's political future. Subscribe to InspirAfrica Official for factual, balanced, and fearless political documentaries from across Zambia and Africa. The power struggle begins. Who will carry Lungu's torch? Zambia's political stage has erupted once again, and this time, it's not about Hakainde Hichilema or the ruling UPND. It's about what's happening inside the Patriotic Front, PF. A fierce behind-the-scenes power struggle that could redefine the opposition and shape the outcome of the 2026 general elections. Ever since the death of former President Edgar Chagwa Lungu, the PF has been a ship without a captain, drifting, divided, and desperate for direction. But now, two powerful figures have emerged from the shadows, each carrying a different vision for the future. On one side stands John Sangwa, the fearless constitutional lawyer who has long challenged corruption, defended the rule of law, and earned the respect of millions of ordinary Zambians. His entry into PF politics, even if still unofficial, has sent shockwaves through Lusaka's elite. Sangwa represents integrity, reform, and intellectual courage, values that many believe could restore PF's credibility and attract young voters disillusioned with both PF and UPND. On the other side stands Dr. Mundia Mudolo, a wealthy businessman and spiritual figure with deep ties to the Lungu family. Mudolo's influence runs wide, from business circles to faith-based organizations, and his loyalty to the Lungu legacy is unquestioned. To many inside the PF, he represents continuity and stability, someone who can protect the family's interests and maintain unity within the old guard. But as power meetings quietly unfold, in Lusaka boardrooms, Johannesburg hotels, and even private villas in Dubai, one question keeps echoing through the corridors of Zambia's political class. Who will truly carry Lungu's torch into 2026, the reformer with the law, or the loyalist with a legacy? John Sangwa, the rebel intellectual who won't back down. John Sangwa has never been afraid to speak truth to power. For years, he stood as the constitutional conscience of Zambia, challenging both Edgar Lungu's third-term bid and President HH's concentration of power. To his supporters, Sangwa represents a new kind of leadership, bold, intellectual, and uncompromisingly honest. But stepping into politics is no small move. If Sangwa aligns himself with the Lungu camp, it would be the ultimate political shock, the lawyer who once criticized PF's constitutional breaches now becoming the man to revive the party from its ashes. His name carries weight among Zambia's middle class, youth, and diaspora communities who crave reform but distrust the current political elite. Yet, to Lungu loyalists, Sangwa is still an outsider, a man who talks of integrity but lacks the PF bloodline that old guards like Given Labinda, Makibi Zulu, and Jean Kapata believe defines true loyalty. Still, insiders say Esther Lungu herself has shown quiet respect for Sangwa's intellect, believing that only a thinker can outsmart HH. But others in the inner circle fear Sangwa's independence, warning that, once in power, he'll clean house, even of the Lungu family's allies. Could John Sangwa be the PF's rebirth, or its final rupture? Dr. Mundia Mudolo, the wealthy insider with powerful ties, while Sangwa stirs hearts with ideals. Dr. Mundia Mudolo commands power with influence and money. Known for his close ties to the Lungu family, Mudolo has quietly built a network that stretches across churches, youth groups, and business communities. He's not a man of fiery speeches, but of quiet strategy. Insiders say Mudolo has been funding key PF activities, supporting loyal members through legal troubles, and even maintaining the Lungu family's financial stability during turbulent times in South Africa. His loyalty, according to those close to him, is beyond politics, it's personal. Now, with Lungu gone, Mudolo is emerging from the shadows, reportedly eyeing a leadership bid under the banner of continuity. His message is simple: preserve Lungu's legacy, defend his name, and rebuild PF through economic empowerment and Christian values. To the family, Mudolo represents stability and gratitude, a man who never abandoned them during exile and legal battles. But to reformists within PF, he represents the old system: money, influence, and quiet deals that have long alienated younger voters. This clash between principle and patronage, Sangwa's reform versus Mudolo's loyalty, is tearing the PF in two. The Lungu family's dilemma, divided between heart and strategy inside the Lungu household, the tension is reportedly palpable. According to family insiders, Esther Lungu is torn. On one side, she sees Mudolo, loyal, trustworthy, and protective of the family's interests. On the other, she sees Sangwa, a potential path to political redemption and legitimacy in the eyes of a skeptical nation. Some family members reportedly argue that supporting Sangwa could rebrand PF, turning it from a party of corruption into a movement of reform and justice. But others fear he could sideline the Lungu legacy entirely, erasing the family's remaining influence in politics. Meanwhile, PF veterans like Given Lubinda and Makibi Zulu are quietly positioning themselves, not necessarily for the presidency, but to act as kingmakers in whichever camp prevails. As one PF insider put it bluntly, this isn't just about who leads the party, it's about who controls the memory of Edgar Lungu. And that's where the real war is. If the family sides with Sangwa, it risks losing control. If it sides with Mudolo, it risks losing credibility. Either choice could define PF's future, and possibly determine whether the opposition can challenge HH's dominance in 2026. What this means for 2026, a new era or the end of PF. As Zambia heads toward 2026, the opposition's greatest weakness remains disunity. HH's UPND is still dominant at the national level, but public frustration is growing, and PF's best hope lies in transforming that frustration into a political wave. The Sangwa-Mudolo rivalry, therefore, isn't just a personal feud, it's a crossroads moment for the entire Zambian opposition. If Sangwa rises, PF could reinvent itself, cleaner, smarter, and ready to challenge HH on governance and constitutional integrity. But if Mudolo prevails, PF might consolidate its old guard, strong financially, loyal to the Lungu family, but struggling to win back skeptical urban voters. Either way, this battle will shape Zambia's political destiny. As one Lusaka journalist put it, Sangwa brings brains, Mudolo brings power, and whoever wins will rewrite the story of the Patriotic Front forever. And for the Lungu family, watching quietly from the sidelines, this isn't just politics. It's survival. Because whoever takes over PF, Sangwa or Mudolo, will decide not just the future of the party, but the legacy of Edgar Chagwa Lungu himself.